Local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
You should bring a water bottle with me.
Well, it's no secret that downtown Wilmington has been dealing with some serious issues about late-night crime and unruly behavior for quite a while. The district has often been referred to as having a split personality. During the day and before around 11 o'clock, it serves as a vibrant, exciting destination for boutique shopping, eclectic restaurants, museums. It has an active theater district, has the Riverwalk, horse-drawn carriage rides, and a new convention center. But all that changes around midnight when downtown becomes a late-night hub of bar activity with roughly 40 venues operating in about a 10-block radius that attracts large, young, and often unruly crowds looking to party. The latest flare-up came last month after a brawl erupted outside a downtown club that ended with a fatal stabbing. How is the city responding, and what are the solutions? Well, that's what we're asking our guests this morning. WPD Chief Ralph Evangelous. Chief, thanks for coming in. And Wilmington City Councilman Kevin O'Grady, who also chaired the Nightlife Task Force that met, actually it was before you were elected.
Yep.
What was that, about 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
So thank you both for being here. Chief, let's start with you. You got here in what year?
2004.
2004. And how big an issue was the nightlife problem when you got here?
Really not much of an issue.
It wasn't what it is now.
No, there's a real transformation that's taken place over the past several years.
And Councilman, you got here?
In 2004.
Oh, really?
Moved here at the same time.
And you have the same perception about what was going on with downtown
you know, from
late night?
From the perspective of a resident who lives near the downtown area, it was always an issue for the residents because they would talk about the crowds walking through the streets at night.
This is when you got here?
Yeah, when I first got here. And, you know, dropping beer bottles in your bushes and complaining about the rowdiness downtown. But it has definitely amped up since then.
So, and this could take the rest of the show, and I don't want to do that, but from your perspectives, what are the problems? Can you identify them for our viewers? What are the problems?
Well, the biggest problem in downtown is social disorder, and not crime. You know, crime is a byproduct of disorder, and when we talk about disorder, we're talking about excessive drinking, drunkenness,
unruly behavior.
Right. Yeah, and not so much of the murders and things of that nature, because we really don't have a lot of quote violent crime, but we do have a lot of disorder issues, and that's the issues of over-serving alcohol, where people are inebriated. And the related fights that go along with
Sure.
that. When you have young guys and women and that all just
And
percolates.
it's a magnet for that crowd.
Oh, absolutely, it is.
Downtown is.
Sure.
Do you
It
have
is.
a different perception?
No, I think this is exactly the thing we talked about on the Nightlife Task Force, the thing we tried to deal with is that, and it's not an unusual problem, because when we were on that task force, the way we approached it was, what are the other cities doing? And other cities have the same problem we have. Late night tends to be a younger, kind of rambunctious crowd, and there's a lot of cities that have had to deal with it.
And so the city's been trying to deal with this issue of unruly crowds and a downtown nightlife.
Yeah, well, we've come to it. We're coming to it.
Well, since 2004, right? Since you got here, at least.
Yeah, and there were studies done before, but we really didn't take action. I think the thing that shows we're making progress is, in this last year, we are doing things to address that problem. We went through the process. The Nightlife Task Force morphed into the policy the City Council adopted last year, which is going to try to help break up this density that we have at night.
The density
is a big issue.
Of locations
Sure.
serving alcohol.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, bars serving
sure.
alcohol.
Over decades.
Was that accurate? There's about 40 in a 10-block radius?
Yeah, I think there were 35 that are bars, and then some restaurants do stay open late at night and really kind of morph into bars.
It's a pretty concentrated.
It's very concentrated. We have probably the densest concentration of bars in this state. And we have to deal with that. That's something that evolved over decades. There was not much downtown, so if a bar came in, that was fine. It was something there. The problem is it has gotten to a point where just the mass of the bars, the density of them, exacerbates the problem. So we've got to try to move out of that. And it's not the kind of thing you can just fix. It's got to evolve over time. The new policy we have should prevent more concentration and should ultimately result in us having
The new
fewer.
policy is what?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing is space between the bars. If somebody
When you say a policy, is this something that has been enacted by city council that there has to be X number of?
yeah. The city can only make recommendations on licenses. We have no control over them.
Right. So
But ABC
right.
always asks the opinion of the city. We've now set up a policy to govern what our opinion is
Do they
going
go
to be.
by the opinion of the city?
So far, they're following it.
So far, after all that,
After we've done all
after
this,
enough
in fact,
feathers have been ruffled.
yeah, I mean, I went up several times, spoke with, and we've got a great chairman now on the ABC board. John Williams is doing a great job. He is very sensitive to this issue. He's been very responsive.
You mean the local?
No, this
You're
is in
talking
Raleigh.
statewide.
ABC
Head of-
Commission.
I see.
The local ABC store really doesn't have anything
No,
to do with this. We're
they
talking
just
about
deal with
Raleigh.
store sales.
It's Raleigh that deals with the licensing.
Chief, what would you like to see change?
Well, I would like, first of all, the current number of ABC permits as of today is 92.
92.
And-
Are they
and
all
the-
active? When you say, is that in the city or in the
No,
down?
that's downtown.
That's just downtown.
Downtown. And my ABC guys just gave me that number before I came here. So now, of course, they're not all open late at night and whatever, but I mean, there's a lot of ABC permits in a small few
In a
block area.
concentrated area.
Yeah, so I mean, that is part of the problem. But the biggest issue downtown, I don't believe is so much the number of permits as it is the number of mega bars.
Yeah.
Or large nightclubs. When we have nightclubs that are 500, 1,000 people, you know, in a very small
We have
concentrated
that.
area.
I've never been in one, so I don't.
Yeah, we do have a handful, and the one recently who just closed was around a 500, 600 person bar.
That's the Rhino Club.
Yes, and that was where we breed most of our problems in these big. It's not
Because
the
you got a concentration of
That's right.
people that are drinking.
drinking, and they tend to be more young and
They're out to party.
yeah, serious
Right,
party.
you also get what's called a social aggregation issue. If you got a big bar and it's full, it's got 500 people in it, you wind up with 500 more people standing outside because they want to be in the scene. They want to be there. They're not in there. Maybe they're not old enough to get in, but they want to hang out there. So
Now
you get that social aggregation factor.
But the city, on the other side of the coin, benefits with the revenue from these establishments.
There's no question that having a lively nightlife is important to a downtown. There's no question. The question
Do you think
is,
you could-
when is it too much? And what are the parameters in which we're going to let it operate? And that's what we're trying to get a better handle on. The policy, we deal with more strictly with the larger venues than with the smaller ones. And we've made those distinctions so that we can try to get on top of this problem. But it's not something where we can just blink our eyes and make it happen.
Well,
gonna take time.
it's been a long time though.
Well-
A lot of blinking is going on, and not
Well,
too much is
looking
changed.
back over the years, but if you look over the last year and a half, you can see that we are definitely addressing those problems, and not just here, but also in Raleigh.
Okay, we're going to talk more about that and talk about who should control ABC licensing, the licensing of bars, and what are some of the ways that the city is responding when we come back. Stay with us.